gentlemen, day 2, Breakfast with Bob. We are brought to you by HOKA One by Polar Halo Neuroscience, Velofix, Today's Plan, Normatec, Four Seasons Resort, Hualalai, Triathlete Magazine. Our next guest, second here twice, third here twice, 46 years old. I think our oldest male pro racing. Give it up, New Zealand legend, Cam Brown.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you.
The hero of all of us double ARP guys. We like that a lot. So, Cam, you've been here. How many times have you been racing here now?
I think it's sort of somewhere like 14, 15.
14, 15 times.
Yeah.
Now, we know about the 2 seconds and 2/3 were, when you look back in your mind, your best race here.
I mean, probably those 2 seconds were pretty special. 2/3, a fifth and eighth, and then a lot of crappy races as well. So, those a lot of DNFs, a lot of sickness, a lot of injuries. So.
Well, I always wondered about that because obviously you've won Ironman New Zealand 12 times, right? And being fit in March, which means you're fit in February and January, and then trying to get fit again for October, that's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, I used to always try and do the triple, which was New Zealand, Germany, and then Hawaii.
Right.
3 peaks throughout the year, and just loved doing it, loved racing, and loved racing the best. So that's why I always used to go back to those races.
Does it get old? Because you've been doing this a long time, got family and a whole bit.
Yeah, this is my 32nd year in the sport, so started when I was 14 years of age. So
32 years in the sport, and still racing as a pro.
Yep. So I love it. It's only been my only ever job. So I'm going to have to get a day job shortly, but trying to hold off as long as I can. But
is that me too?
Yep.
I haven't trained yet. Who wants to get a real job?
Yep.
That's the worst thing ever. So when I look at great races, we were just talking with Jan about the great race at Ironman South Africa with him and Alistair and Javier. But the race you had at Ironman Melbourne, and I think it was an Asia Pacific Championships back then in 2012. It was the first year of Ironman Melbourne, I think. It was you and Craig Alexander.
Yep.
And you guys were together all day long. Talk a little bit about that day, because I don't know if that was as special as you as it was to Crowley, but that was a special day. Yeah.
I think it ruined him in the end because he'd come off such a fantastic period of racing and that, and so we swam together, we rode together, and then we got off the bike, and there was about 5 of us, myself, Freddie Van Leerd, Enrico Lanos, Crowley, sort of went through that first 10K in around about 35 minutes, and Crowley wasn't wearing a watch at that stage, and he kept asking me for splits, and it was getting a little bit annoying because I'm a poker face, out there. I'd never say anything to anyone, so my watch, Garmin kept going off every kilometre. So we were going through 3:30k pace, and it was crazy. So one by one, everyone dropped off, and in the end, it was 37, 38k mark, and we were still together. He ended up running a 2:37. I ended up running, I think, a 2:40, and it was a crazy day. Missed the 8-hour barrier by 12 seconds. He went 7:57. So. It was an incredible day for us.
And when you look at Crowley that year, or going back, he won 70.3 Worlds. Then a month later, he won in Kona and broke the course record. And then 6 months, basically 6 months total, he went back to did Melbourne. So within 6 months, you go Vegas, you go Kona, and you go Melbourne. 3 world-class performances. And I think his long-distance career was pretty much done. It's hard to put 3 world-class races in a 6-month period. Yeah,
it is tough, and that really hurt him for a while. It hurt me for a while too, but I think I really nearly retired after that race too as well. But I've got a love and passion for the sport. It's still going at the moment, and I think as long as you have that, I'll keep going as long as I can. I'd love to. I've got a guy that's trying to campaign me to keep going until I'm 50 years of age as a pro. So
why not?
Yeah.
I mean, you're still competitive.
Yep, still as long as I'm enjoying it, and that's the main thing. As long as I can get out of bed with a spring in my step. And
how old are your kids now?
15 and 17. So they've grown up. They've only missed, I think, one race when my wife Jenny gave birth to Braden. When he was, I came up 3 days later, raced here and got second. And I remember you were sitting at the finish line with a cell phone. Yeah, that was one of the best moments of my life. I was on the cell phone to Jen back home and talking to her, and Mike Riley asked me, how much money I won. And back then, it was $25,000 for second place, but the Kiwi dollar was worth 39 cents. So he was wondering why it took me so long to ask, because I was translating it, in my head how much it was in Kiwi dollars, and it ended up being like $60,000. So I think I ended up, earning as much as Tim DeBoon, who won. So in our money. So the dollar's a bit stronger now, but. yeah, it was a good day when you earn that much money.
Who were your heroes growing up in terms of New Zealand sports icons?
Definitely Rick Wells. He was 87 world champion. Aaron Baker, who's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame tomorrow night. So going to be there, and it's going to be a special moment with Scott Molina as well. He was one of my coaches as well through my early parts of my career, and probably thanks to Scott that when I first started Ironman, I didn't go very well, and he almost doubled my training overnight, and I had immediate success after that with him, and it's going to be fantastic seeing them being inducted tomorrow.
How have you had it change with age in terms of, I remember interviewing Rod Dixon, the New Zealand legend, and he said, I could do the same workouts at 25 as at 35, 37, but I just had to take time off in between.
Yep. So, I mean, when I was 10, 15 years ago, I could I'd have 3-4 weeks off after every Ironman. Total rest. If I did that now, I'd get injured, pull a calf, and I'd be out for 6 weeks. So
you've got to keep moving.
Yep, I have to. It's active recovery now. So after this race, I'll have a week off, but it'll be straight back into very, very easy training, just 20-minute, 30-minute jogs, and then it'll keep my joints moving, and but it's the same with I've had a fantastic build up, but the sessions, my hard sessions, it's more like 3 or 4 days between them now, whereas when I was younger, I could go hard every day. So 46 years of age, you're pushing the boundaries, but rest and recovery is so crucial now. So I'm trying to ease it back a little bit more this week, as much as I would do. A lot. 5-6 years ago, I'd be ticking over quite a lot this week, but trying to really ease back and let the body rest up and absorb all that training I've done.
What was the first year you raced here?
2000. So I think Luke Van Leerd may have won it, and it was
Peter Reed.
Peter Reed. Sorry, Peter Reed.
Yeah, Peter Reed won. But 2000. So you've been here since 2000. It's now 2018. How has this race changed?
Oh, I think there's been course changes. That first year we were out to the pit and running along the pit.
Kona surf and all that stuff.
Straight back out along the coast here, but. I think the amount of athletes have changed. I think in those early years it was 1,500. Now we've got 2,500 athletes on the pier, and then there was changes within that pier where we were at the back of the King Cam at one stage for the transition. When it was under repair, but. I think there's just so many more athletes here, and it's just, I think the countries as well. Back then there was probably a majority of US athletes. Now there's just, you'll hear languages from all over the world, so it's pretty special and pretty cool. We've got an Ironman pretty much on every continent around the world, nearly every country. So it's there's a lot more athletes that are coming here, so it's fantastic. And
how has it changed in New Zealand? Obviously, you guys have done really well at the Olympics.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about the growth of the sport in New Zealand.
It's had its ups and downs, but yesterday we had at the Youth Olympics in Argentina, a young Kiwi guy, Dylan McCulloch, he won the triathlon there. So it's I think it's coming up again. We've got 7 professionals on the start line from New Zealand here. That's the most ever.
Oh, is it the most ever here?
Yep. Oh, it would have been 8, but Terenzo unfortunately had an injury. So there would have been 6 men and 2 women, so it's on a growth spurt again. I think we've got the 35th anniversary of Ironman New Zealand this year. It's the oldest Ironman outside of Hawaii, and it plays a special place in my heart because I've watched it since I was a 14-year-old. The greats of Scott Molina, Scott Tinley, and Dave Scott have all raced down there. And to have 35 years, it was based in Auckland in those first sort of 15 years, but 20 years in Taupo, pretty cool. So Taupo's a fantastic event as well, and looking forward to being on the start line again there.
What is when you look at Ironman New Zealand, the fact you win it 12 times, what is it about that race that suits you so well?
Oh, I think it's training in my own country is it's easy. You sleep in your own bed, you're training with your mates. I mean, if I could come here through a New Zealand summer, it would have been probably that 1% that it was missing through my stages. But I've always had to go overseas, and it's no different to anyone else. But I love training back home. It's just so easy. I love my country, and it's just easy to be there and train for that race.
What's your goal here?
I mean, I'd love to get a top 10. You know, if I can have a great day. You know, I just want to have a performance I'm proud of and happy of. You know, I've come in injury free. I've come in sickness free. There was a lot of years where my kids would, when they were little toddlers, they'd get sick and I'd get it. You know, on the planes coming over here, and so yeah, it's been a good build up. So I've just got to be, you know, the head's got to be strong out there. As you know, it's everyone's prepared physically as well as they can, but mentally, if you're 100%, you're going to have a great race. If you're 90%, then you know that can be 5 minutes out there. So if you can be strong out there and be tough, you can have a great day.
Well, you're representing all of us. All of us old guys.
Yeah, it's
right.
Yeah. That's what you know. Terenzo, he when we're back home racing, you know, he gets all the cheers from the girls. I get all the cheers from the 40-year-old plus guys. So yeah.
How about a round of applause for 12-time Ironman New Zealand champion, Mr. Cam Brown. Control man, take us out.
We gonna get back to now. We man, it's breakfast with